This is Gen X Reality Bites, where we talk about the Gen X stuff that you really didn't sign up for, but somehow you inherited it anyways.
Yeah, right. So tonight we are talking about, and you might have heard about it on the stratosphere, the internet or whatever, the great wealth transfer. So this can kind of be a thing that a lot of us have questions about. A lot of us have, like, we don't think we're going to inherit anything, or maybe we do think we're going to inherit something. So
Sure.
yeah, it just becomes something that we are going to talk to our generation, Gen X, so that we can kind of get some better perspective and like some real intel, boots on the ground kind of thing. Since we're Gen X, we're realtors, we're talking to our people, our friends.
Well, you know, it's not a fear-based conversation. We're just trying to let you know how it's gonna be, or how it is, or
what to expect,
what you've already gone through.
Yeah.
And we would love to hear what you guys have to say about that as well.
Yeah. If you are new here, I am Angel. This is Dan. We are Gen X Realtors in Charleston. And I'm also licensed in California, but we want to be your trusted agent, whether you're needing our help near and far, whether you're watching this in South Carolina or Charleston area, if you're watching this in California, or anything in between. Yep. We want to be the resource for you as we walk through some of these things. And then also just to remind you that, like, we are realtors. We are not estate planners. We are not attorneys. We can hook you up with those if that's something that you're interested in getting a hold of. But our lane is real estate, and real estate will play a role in this great wealth transfer, guaranteed.
Yes. And if you have questions, you can type XXX in the chat, and that'll get our attention, and we can hit up any topic you'd like during the live stream.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Hit the comment button up there, baby. We will see any comment that you make. Let us know where you're watching from, and then that way we can respond. If you have a question, maybe you've experienced something, or you want to ask realtors something along these lines regarding this whole topic.
Right. And what really stands out to us when this wealth transfer is happening for Gen X is that we're still in the middle of everything. We're still helping kids.
Yeah.
We're worried about parents that are getting older. And now we got to think about potentially inheriting something, whether that's money or property, and the added responsibility that comes with that.
Well, we think it's going to be, you know, like old school, like walking in the house with suitcases full of cash. But honestly, according to, I don't know if I'm going to say this incorrectly, Cerulli, CERULLI.com. They're calling Gen X the sandwich generation because of what Dan just described, but then also because of the fact that we're in both of those places in life. We're sandwiched in the older generation, the boomers. 9 times out of 10, our parents are boomers, and we're still raising kids, right? So the wealth that is going to be transferred, according to Cerulli, back to that point, is that 62% of it is going to be in real estate. So they've got these giant numbers. Where are my notes? I think I'm getting ahead of myself on my notes, but the amount of money is like in the trillions, $124 trillion, and 62% of that is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What you were going to say is like
what I was going to say.
A lot of it isn't even cash, right?
Yeah, so it's not the suitcases.
62% is what?
Is real estate. Yeah, property. And they're not going to be walking in like, you know, you want $1 million or whatever. You've got to deal with property and maintenance and fees and property taxes and hi.
So when you hear inheritance, what you often find is a house, right? And of course, that house may have history. You know, for example, my parents, they bought a house in 1959, and my mother is still living in that house to this day. And, you know, there's siblings involved if you come from a big family, and there's decisions that might have to be made that can't wait, you know, because a lot of things are happening. You know, if someone were to pass and leave something to the kids, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And I mean, and to his point about his mom, I mean, the boomers, they bought these houses for like $10,000 and 3 pieces of gum. And now they're multi-million-dollar houses, especially here in this like Charleston area. Good night. So, you know, property values have changed. And, you know, that also is something that could be a surprise in a good way or not so good way, because with a higher price point comes sometimes higher fees that you get to sort through. But yeah, anyway, we're not trying to be, you know, Debbie Downers or anything. We're just talking facts. Like real estate is going to be transferred. The great wealth transfer is going to look a lot like a house or property.
Well, and that's
or two. Could be property and land. Could be multiple houses.
Well, and vehicles and whatever else you want to throw in.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's where it can get a little uncomfortable because a lot of people inherit a home, but they don't necessarily have the cash flow to maintain it.
Right. Yeah. And I've read while we were getting ready for this that Generation X, we, in addition to mortgage debt, we have a very high number or level amount of non-real estate debt. So that would be, you know, credit cards, car payments, boat payments, RV payments. So yeah,
school tuition,
right? Yeah, if you're helping your kids out, so like you don't want to just be thinking that this is going to just make you solvent again and make you okay, no bills, but like you have to actually be prepared for the fact that it's going to be you're going to have your debt plus the debt that could come with the house.
Right. And in some cases, you may need to say goodbye to that family home because you need the financial stability that comes from that sale.
Yeah.
So, and that's where we would come in, is to kind of help you, guide you through that process, because you're already dealing with a lot emotionally, and, you know, decisions will have to be made, you know?
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing, is we're used to being the responsible ones, right? We're Gen X. We've been responsible since we were 3, like, you know, making eggs, standing at the stove, and, you know, coming home to an empty house, being latchkey kids. Like, responsibility is kind of our middle name. Like we know about responsibility and having to be the one to make the decisions. And that's essentially what we're telling or talking about, is like, there's going to be a lot of decisions that have to be made. A lot of stuff is coming up. So we're here with you because we're in it ourselves, but we also wanted to open the floor for anybody. Do we have any questions, Dan? No, none yet. Okay. All right. That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we were kids, if you had a can opener to TV, you were pretty well set.
Sure. Hungry. How are those called? Hungry Mans?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they had the Hungry Man frozen dinners. And what I would do is, before I'd put it in the oven, I would bust out the frozen section of peas and throw those in the trash.
Yeah, he doesn't like peas.
And then I put the rest of it in the oven. It was like a little apple cobbler
Oh,
thing.
I was going to say, there's always those cinnamon apples.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you are new here, first of all, thank you for being here, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on the audio version. But there is a time in all of our videos that we do.
Here it comes.
Yeah, a Gen X fun fact. Will you put the little banner up so that they know what we're doing
absolutely.
there? Yeah. If you're listening on audio, we have a Gen X fun fact ticker. So Dan likes to try to stump me on all things Generation X, whether it's music, movie quotes, or actors or bands or commercials from back in the day.
Pop culture.
Yeah, and anytime I don't get it, I'm really mad. But 9 times out of 10, I get it. I don't know if I beat you, because there's no way for me to know unless you tell me in the chat if you want to do that. If you're listening on audio, I'm sorry. You can just yell out loud to your steering wheel. But here we go, Dan. Gen X fun fact. Bring it.
You know, it's like Jeopardy. You know, you watch Jeopardy, you'll be like, the answer.
Yeah.
What is a snake?
How many continents are there?
Okay, this is going to be a commercial.
Okay.
It first made its appearance in 1974 and 1976.
Oh, gosh.
It is a beverage.
Tab? Oh.
No.
Okay.
And I'll leave it there.
It's a beverage, and I get 2 years. That's it? 74 and 76. Great years, by the way.
Yeah.
Great years.
Awesome.
Can I have a hint?
It would
It wasn't Tab.
It would be a drink that kids would prefer.
Tang.
Oh, that's a good one. That was like, you brought up astronauts. You were going to talk about Tang. That's what they drank in space.
What else did we drink? It was orange.
I'll tell you this: the advertising slogan was 2 words.
Can I have another hint? 2 words.
You want me to tell you?
Okay, it's orange.
No.
Oh, it's not orange. That was me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a drink. 74 and 76. Why did it have to come back out?
Well, they just brought it out at different times.
It wasn't like Coke and Diet Coke.
Well, then it kind of stuck. Like once.
It's Shasta. I want a pop. I want a Shasta.
No, that's a very good guess.
Oh gosh.
You want me to tell you the 2 words?
Yeah.
It'll make it obvious.
Oh, hang on.
You
Okay,
ready?
74, 76. It's a soda. 2 words. Okay.
I didn't say it was a soda.
Oh,
I said it was a beverage.
wait a minute.
You ready?
Wait a minute. He never has a second cup at home.
No.
What was that?
That was coffee.
I know. Folders.
Yeah.
He never orders a second cup at home. Remember, they would always be on a plane or at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we talking about? Sorry. Go
Here are
ahead.
the 2 words.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid? Oh, he would break through the
He
wall.
would ruin people's houses for the sake of a delicious beverage.
Oh, yeah.
And none of the parents were ever mad. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, and somebody was always sitting on the wall or near the wall. Like
Yeah.
that was never a concern either.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They made a commercial
But he
off
would-
of Oh yeah.
oh, that's all. I wonder, why did it come out twice? Did you find that out?
Well, like I said, they just were kind of like teasing it out. And then they were like, gosh, people really respond to this.
That's
So we're going to have more jars of Kool-Aid busting through walls.
Well, yeah, let's revamp that and redo it and do it better.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's exactly what marketing's all about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Okay, so did you get it or did I beat you? Who won that one?
That's a
Again,
good one.
I have no way to know. Leave me a comment and let me know if you're watching this. But anyway, all that to say, so we are still talking about the great wealth transfer, obviously, and not to, like Dan said, scare anybody, but like firsthand real world experience. I had a friend / client in California. I think the point of this being like, we've got to have conversations that we might not be ready to have, or maybe we are ready to have them and the parents aren't, who knows?
Right.
But the story I was getting ready to share is I had a client / friend who the parents, they have, they raise cattle, and it's a certain kind of beef that we all love. And so the land is being worked. Well, it was left in trust, and brother likes the income coming from the people that are leasing it and managing the beef and managing the cattle.
You know, the parents did the right thing. They
Yeah.
were proactive. They set up
had
a trust.
Mhm.
They had stuff laid out.
Right. They put their wishes down, which is essentially a will and a trust. And they had the property was in trust, and it's in California. So we know that that's even a better thing in California. And brother doesn't want to sell it. He just wants to keep generating the income,
Well,
which is
isn't
from
much.
well, it basically just keeps the property as is. And she is like, we could make more money if we sold it to them, then we could have the proceeds, because sadly it's caused a lot of friction in their relationship. And now they really only talk about, like, did you pay the property taxes, you know, whatever about the leasing company and the cows. Like, they don't have a relationship anymore because they didn't execute the parents' wishes the way the parents wanted. And so all that to say is, like, maybe one of them had the conversation with the parents, maybe, you know, but it can really go south really, really quickly when it comes to like what's handed down.
Yeah. So it's better while your parents are still alive, you know. And here's the thing: we as parents, we know our kids.
Yeah.
And not all kids are cute and sassy and easy to deal with. Some of them can be real, like, manipulative and, you know, greedy, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So you as the parent, you can put stuff in the trust or in the will that designates what needs to happen. If you know that they hate each other, they're going to butt heads with every decision, you make those decisions for them.
Yeah.
You know, take that burden off. Don't put that burden on your kids. I mean, as great a job as they did of being proactive, setting up the trust, leaving it to the kids, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we're experiencing, and maybe you're experiencing this too. If you're a Generation Xer as well, is like, we want to always do better by our kids than what maybe is coming down the pike for us. Sometimes it's, it's not what we think it's going to be, or it starts out, roses and rainbows, and then it goes way south. Like, just all that to say is that situation that I shared, nobody really saw that one coming. The parents have been gone a few years. They were on the same page, and now they can't get back on the same page. Now lawyers are involved. Now they don't talk to each other. And to the point you just made, Dan, about like, well, maybe they did get along and the parents thought it was going to be okay. Like, you just have to be prepared. The great wealth transfer could be a divider, or it could be a joiner.
Uniter,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and kind of flip side that, my father passed some years back, and, my mom is still living, thank God. And what my dad did that was very beneficial, he was a very savvy guy financially.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of rental properties, which my mom has since sold because, that's a lot of responsibility, and she's in her 80s. She doesn't want to be messing with that stuff. And, but what my dad did was he, like I always say, have people around you smarter than yourself. Whether that be a financial advisor, whether that be a handyman.
Well, and also not find them in the thick of it, right? Like, what did Pop do? Pop.
Right. So my dad had this network of people that took care of everything he needed to get done, whether it was a rental house, whether it was his financial portfolio, so that when he did pass, my mom was able to incorporate these people into her life. She knew they were trusted. She knew they would do right by her. So that legacy of trust that he had created with all these people was able to be passed down to her. And, she's so grateful, and she was able to grieve and just.
And we all know who they are too. Like, It's not a secret. We're not like, oh, it's a secret non-kid family meeting.
Right.
Like, we know their names. We are in contact with them. So that, when the time,
we've benefited from their expertise,
right?
With our financial portfolio,
right?
To where,
well, and so when we're dealing with that transfer, obviously she's a boomer, so it's going to be something that we take on as, we have siblings, he has siblings, and so you have to really. It's kind of a better thing for that scenario that we know them too. We're not just meeting them in the thick of it, which, that can be another element that you don't think of when you're having to separate out, like, okay, now we've got the property. Now we've got property tax. Now who handles it with us? Who do I need an attorney? Do I need a realtor? Do I need an estate planner? By the way, any of those that you may or may not need, we have a form in our description below, whether you're listening to this on audio or watching it on YouTube, that you can, we have a large connection of all of those. So if you are watching this in another state and you need one of those, feel free to click the link in the description for that form. It's a referral form, and tell us what you need, and we can connect you. So if you've trusted in us enough to listen or watch, then we would love to be able to lovingly hand you off to whomever it is you need, whether it's an estate planner, a realtor in your state, or somebody that's an expert in probate, which, probate is.
She's the one.
I'm probate certified here, handled probate and trust sales in California as well. And then Dan is VA relocation certified. So. Yes. I'm probably going to get probate certified as well, just because it's our generation and we want to, anyway. So.
Well, and one of the big reasons that we're having this video for everyone's benefit that's in our age range is that, hopefully you have time to prepare. Hopefully you're not seeing this video and being like, well, that already happened and it was a mess.
Yeah.
If we're getting ahead of this, you have time. Like we were talking about, some people inherit a house and they can't afford to keep it. Well, we don't want that to happen to you. So maybe in these years to follow, you're cleaning up your debt and you're trying to find ways to have positive income coming in. And, checking with your parents, what assets do they have? Do they have income producing things that are in a trust that they're going to pass on to you? Do I know how to run those? Is it a business? Do I need to know how to run that? Is it an apartment complex? What does that?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
I don't want to get this huge, they spent years building this thing. The example I give is if your kid built this awesome Lego set that took 5 hours to build, and I were to come in and just smash it to bits, he'd be crushed because it cost time, it cost his skill set. Just like your parents, if they built this empire, they don't want you to ruin it because you don't know what you're doing.
100%. And, we have all the compassion in the world because not only have we walked through it, but we have, we've done the research for this video to find out that it's not just us. Our generation, we said earlier, is the sandwich generation. So in addition to all of the things that go on with our daily lives, raising kids, some of our generation are grandparents already, or they're preparing to be grandparents or whatever. And now they're dealing with, the other parent, what they're inheriting. And it can be very, very emotional and very, very stressful. And this whole great wealth transfer, $124 trillion, and 62% of that being in property, real property, which, praise the Lord, that's going to change markets in some parts of the country. It could, because it's supposed to be happening over the next, 20 years till 2048 is what they're estimating. And that can be a ride for certain markets that, I don't know why a lot of people would die in a certain market, but it could really shift, the demographic of a neighborhood if more than one property is coming out of probate or transferring owners. That could really, open up a lot of doors for a lot of people, which we want to do better by our generation, by our kids, right? So if we're going to be setting things up, to Dan's point, hi, we're going to now have apartment complexes or an RV park. Right. Let's show you how to use that in the middle of grief and paperwork and siblings. And the whole point is to, from us to you, from you to us, we want to do this together and make sure that, our expertise can help you find the right things that you need where you are and for the part of your scenario that may or may not be happening right now or coming in the near future.
Right. And we'll take this time, if there's anyone that's watching us live, if you have any questions, you can put those in the comments and we can respond to those.
Yeah.
Or, tell us, what was your favorite commercial growing up? Was it a jingle?
Yeah, in the live or the replay, we want to hear from you.
Was it a jingle? Was it a catchphrase?
Shasta, where's the beef?
Yep.
I thought it was going to be a where's the beef commercial. When you said commercial, I was like, oh, it's where's the beef? Yeah.
And my favorite has got to be the clapper. You got to think about it. You have Alexa in 2025. You had the clapper in 1984. Look how far we've come. Instead of just a random sound to turn stuff on and off, you can give a full description to
what's the one that they would, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, the life alert.
But was that life alert?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all the jokes that we had back in the day. And all that to say, we can Gen X, we can go down memory lane in a second. Yep. We can make a whole video on that. Maybe we'll do that next week. But what we have thought about is making this a series, for lack of a better word, in that we're digging deeper into each of these elements over the course of weeks, where we can break down, okay, so maybe we can bring on an expert if that's something you'd like to have us on the show. please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if that is something that, you know, you want to hear from a certain expert in a certain state, that would be awesome as well. We, you know, again, feel free to reach out. We would love to hear from you and make that happen so that we can kind of answer questions that maybe we don't have, maybe we haven't answered in this video or audio podcast, but we could answer them in the future. So feel free to, you know, whether you're watching this live, listening now, or watching it on replay, leave everything you need from us. And we want to be the source of the source for you, you know? Yeah.
And if you want to re-listen or share this episode, we're also, you know, we're on YouTube, we're on audio platforms. So there's lots of ways that you can get this information. And we're thinking of calling the series Gen X Reality Bites. And when you think about bites in the 80s, that could be a bad thing. But bites is also like bits of information. So
yeah,
it could be either or both.
And it was a movie from the Gen X. So, you know, Winona Ryder and her cute hair. I found out that was, she didn't even have a hairdresser. She just cut her hair. Like she was a broke actor cutting her hair.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, we need Winona Ryder hair. And she was like, oh, that's cute. I just did that in my bathroom sink like 5 minutes before we filmed. But
that's awesome.
We're grateful to have you here. We would love to hear from you live or on the replay. And we will see you next Tuesday live at 5.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And stream.